Mario's feeling really sick, and his two friends find a working remedy: hydration, a one-up shroom which hasn't worked regularly since 2011, and questioning their reality front and center do nothing to cure the plumber. Maggie suggests soup, but the others remember she can only cook one type of soup that's been pre-made. And it doesn't work anyway, regardless how good it looked. They call in a doctor for a diagnosis, revealing that Mario's liver is missing, and asks for an egregious payment. For a government that wants to protect its citizens, they're sure as heck want to milk them dry. She asks him how he lost it, but Ford cuts her off by ordering new ones online from a recently outed junkie fraud who isn't Logan Paul. None of them are compatible with his anatomy, forcing him to chuck them out. The audience should be grateful this cartoon has a relatively young demographic. Their only chance is to grab his original organ. Mario tells them Bob is borrowing it after a sleepover. In this universe, humiliating your friends is a worse crime than theft of the human body. With Mickey raging mad, the duo run to interrogate the Garo, but he had just sold the liver to Wheeler. A chase ensues between the bandit elder and the guardian tomboy combo. Wheeler swallows the organ to obtain the Avatar's power, but only inherits a fraction of them, turning him into an insane Italian. Realizing how easily distractible their acquaintances is, Ford gives him a computer to watch memes and knocks Wheeler out. They put him in the bathtub for the opportunity of Mario stealing it back. And so it's a good reminder to never buy vital organs from the dark web, even if your country's health care is overpriced. 9 out of 10, a small spike in quality, wacky shenanigans, and a homage to the Mario franchise memography. It may be a typical video that relies on one internet joke until the end, but introduces a plausible backstory behind it, despite inherently being Mario-centric. The actual focus on SMG4, Maggie and Wheeler. Not the best use of its Simpson Iske arsenal, but its progress. The pacing doesn't take too long, and the animation used doesn't clash with in quality. Not much more to add besides a warning to lock your bedrooms at night so you don't have to spend your mornings in ice.
Yes, I'm afraid the brainless drones who run the network cancelled our license.
Mario's streaming an Ogre RPG game, but his livestream is hijacked by 3. He's doing so since he's tired of his low view counts, a remnant of his past desires for popularity that he'll do anything to obtain it. He gets a suspicious link offering him to do an endless subathon, which will help gain an audience, so he accepts. Pikachu shows up, camera and all, briefly catching the anti-hero off guard, but goes on with the stream anyway. Several days go by as thousands to millions of viewers witness his everyday life at the cost of his privacy, which over time makes 3 lose it. He attempts to close the stream, but it's stuck, so he turns to 4 and Mario for help. 4 suggests swearing to shut it down, but 3 ekes out a 3-letter word. Nothing happens since he's on Twitch and not YouTube. Then they turn into a hot tub stream hoping that he could get him banned, but in reality that's the content the website actually wants, and it was tricked to humiliate him by his peers. 3 takes a nap and wakes up to another idea. Mario takes over the stream and drags it to Nintendo HQ. Miyamoto develops the next gardening game while borrowing ideas from Doug Bowser and notices Pikachu filming the presents. Not knowing this company is supposed to hold secrets, the cameraman is finally dealt with and SMG3 is finally free. After he bumps 4's head off, he notices the extra cameras planted everywhere, realizing the stream hasn't been terminated, leaving him helpless. Surely his audience can't be that sadistic without a life, can they? He finds out the fake wall and looks at the poorly disguised exit through the door. He discovers the supposed entity of the Twitch leader who forces him to do more embarrassing stuff. The laughter gives it away, revealing that it was all an elaborate prank by Mario 4. So he returns the favor by pulling a Hiroshima on his own coffee shop. I will believe you if you say real Twitch mods do this stuff regularly to their user base. 8 out of 10. SMG3 nets the spotlight with a few hiccups. Once again, that's quite the long title, which was probably intentional. But if it had to be shorter, I would have chosen SMG3's Twitch Troubles. Rolls off the tongue smoother. Really nice to see another side character get their own episode in ages, despite being through with his villainous ways. 3 is still hungry for attention when sometimes it's better to stay small if bigger crowds overwhelm you. A good message for any aspiring streamer, even if the ending reflects otherwise. Something glary I point out is 3's head on top of Mario's boxer shorts model. It would have been more convincing if the appearance was properly modeled or textured, and that's how I discreet am approaching this as possible. Also, anyone out there who thinks the two Guardians make a cute couple intentionally or otherwise, this is for you, especially folks out there. Next video.
Yes!
We have not updated those.
The Team Sonic Color Trio go to a bowling alley, but our goofball pair is extremely new to the sports. Ford teaches them how to play, and afterwards Maggie's still terrible at it, while Mario defies logic as usual, just to see those family victory animations. This fuels her competitive rage, making her desperate to be her buddy, but the universe feels like screwing with her that day and keeps throwing gutter balls. After another lesson from 4, she finally knocks down a single pin, which is enough to challenge Mario to a duel and settle the score. Mario's cockiness couldn't resist and accepts. They compete in a 100 pin challenge, which Mario's winning streak running out as he only knocks down 99 pins. Despite her resume to anime, Maggie channels her inner Goku and smashes all the pins, leaving Mario burnt to a crisp. As the victor, she actually congratulates him for being a good sport, even though that can be more far from the truth for either of them, really. 10 out of 10. Roman Bellic has a hard-on for this episode. Another reason why Mario's Maggie's friendship doesn't have to be boring or toxic. These two are really enjoyable in this episode. Bonus points for 4 as a supporting character. Even though we're supposed to be in one location, it doesn't take an eternity to get to the action, especially the ending. Now, I know just about everyone is clamoring for more characters to show up, and I'm not objecting to that. However, if the episode is great enough, it's not a dedicated requirement. If it revolved around a team battle, then the extra characters would have been more appropriate. Simplicity doesn't automatically ruin a product. As Mobro Studio once said, it's not about what you see, it's about how you use it. Alright, time to cap off this insane year.
Jesus is an anime? Jesus!
The gang huddles up at a castle for Christmas dinner while Mario is constrained so he can't mess anything up. The Guardians catch up discussing memes in their recent run-in with a company that hates esports. While testing a new device built on sodium chloride, turning Ford into a nerd, Maggie talks to Melanie about her college thesis she's trying to graduate next year. While Mario plans a way to get some turkey early, he sets Melanie's pet Axel Jr. free to sneak some food, but things go south when he lands on Bob's face, startling him and causing a chain reaction, landing Jr. into the boiling soup. It upsets Melanie that her companion was in danger thanks to Mario's selfishness, and runs to the upper floor. Not only did he mess up dinner, but he nearly committed pet abuse because Junior's unaware of his surroundings, and Bob's freakout was a complete accident. Everyone looks at the plumber in disgust, frustrated he has no self-control even during the holidays when you're supposed to be nice to everyone. Why she's upset is her pet is a memento of their fallen comrade, whom she was closest to. And if the little guy didn't survive, she would have been forced to go through a loss again. Mario instantly shows remorse, realizing all he had to do was wait for a turkey. He wanted to apologize to her, but she turned the floor into a snow floor complete with golem, making his task slightly difficult. Meanwhile, Bookins tries to lighten the mood by seeing Kairos badly probably casts a creature by him, with the salt device turning him into a green clay. Maggie appeases Melody to come downstairs after dealing with a golem, while the other fixes up the place using salt as snow and performing an overused song. Mario uses the holiday spirit to redeem himself, now knowing Junior means a lot to her, regretting his screw-up, and they immediately make up. The axle lights up the star and everyone gazes at the tree as the old hobo wishes the viewers happy holidays.
Happy holidays, and if you have a problem with happy holidays, then happy shut the fuck up.
8 out of 10, a fine Christmas special, even with the humor taking a backseat. Axel Jr.'s backstory does trick on an episode, especially the Nickelodeon video when it was one of Mario's wishes in the very odd parent skit, but it's negligible enough to make Melody's attachment more meaningful. This episode addresses Mario's behavior in terms of recklessness affecting his friends, rather than the rest of the world. If he's supposed to do whatever he wants without consequence, then he would suffer what I like to call the Rick Sanchez syndrome, where he only cares about himself and gets off scot-free every time. He needs to limit his insanity to balance out the cruelty and kindness, distinguishing himself from his official counterpart while not being a complete jerk to his buds. The crowd who root for him to go nuts and unironically not bully his friends, as a lousy way to celebrate the past, might not be good people themselves since they reject fictional morality any chance they get. If Mario didn't apologize for his mistake, then he will no different than other characters from problematic series folks will leave alone. No, it's not Velma. The point is not fun causing misfortune to others regardless what time of year it is, because they will dissociate with you unless you make an effort to make up for it or leave the victims alone. This doesn't overtake previous specials, especially some of the recent ones, but it's still good enough to sit down and watch while scarfing down some Christmas cookies. Okay, now that I covered every episode this year, it's time for me to reflect on the channel and the growing pain I've endured. Don't worry, I'll keep this brief this time, and with that said, cue this happy finale music. This year, the show did have more hiccups compared to last year, but it was far from uninteresting. But there was something missing if you listen to my rambles long enough. You know it's the lack of character variety. The stories take higher priority for entertainment value, but many of them revolve around the main star rather than its whole main cast. Of course, putting on Mario would be ridiculous, not to mention a dangerous idea to fix it. But seeing its own dedicated characters getting sidelined, except for Maggie, it's quite the eyebrow raiser. I can't help but attribute this to the detractors who don't give a characters any chance, or Susan's ever so brilliant system, favoring established brands. It's putting the team through some deadlocking regarding unique episodes, since those don't perform as well in the first day or week. Even when they're giving it what it wants with Mario front and center, they still have to change the titles of thumbnails and playing. They're stressing to finalize those. It's not that they're running out of ideas, like a loser would say. It's a factor outside of their control that might be influencing them to play it safe. Which is why every Wednesday video is basically Mario doing improv, possibly in an attempt to make up for lost views. These size videos existing are not the issue. There's nothing wrong with the small scale stuff as long as they don't exploit children or what have you. But they do suffer from the same problem as the main videos, which is why I consider the better ones are when he was the guest reacting to dumb crap online. They fall flat if that isn't the case, unless backed up to a popular or different trend rather than him playing some random blow Roblox game. I would stop uploading these weekly and stretch the schedule every 2 weeks, or upload them every Saturday after an episode. Yes, that does mean the amount of episodes in a year is cut down in half, but they have a better chance of higher quality. But it's up to them if they can afford the hit in an ad revenue, considering I'm not the one handling their finances. What obviously stressed me out is the channel's reputation nosediving through no real fault of its own. The team might be immune to the garbage flowing at them 24/7, but there's still no excuse for the gradual hatred from old and non-fans. I mentioned this back in one of my rants. The minor characters, particularly Maggie, are overhated and are long overdue for a natural analysis that doesn't beg for their removal. It also applies to the series in general, with how many people want Luke's career to just die just because the internet is supposed to be mean. I'm not saying everyone should bow down to him and like everything he posts. They get this like channel all they want, but they should leave the creators and their supporters out of it. There's nothing to gain from pestering these groups over inferior content as being as popular as other YouTubers. Every incident on Twitter is proof that respecting human beings is a dying art. It's apparently too much to ask to unsubscribe and stop checking out new videos, since pointing fingers at cringe is the cool thing to do. Even some folks who want the show to improve also seem to do it for clout, since they really like oversaturating its flaws and claim the team is being lazy and such. I can't tell the difference between that and the average Kotaku article. There's also all the drama I've been in, since I'm the most controversial member in the community. Not the people who harass SMG4 hack these accounts, not the people who steal fan art or draw gory hate stuff, not even the guy who lied about quitting the show and is particularly a journalist who pretends to be a fan. I'm apparently a guy who's making the place worse, which is why I'm through with it. No more pointing out flawed arguments to be reasonable, and no more dealing with accusations that show to real predators. I'm done. At the very least, if Medic Excalibur's video, link in the description by the way, about his experience working on the show taught me anything, is that somebody is listening. As much as I believe there's a better chance of world peace than pleasing everyone who's ever watched SMG4, I do understand his ideas and give credit for addressing these community issues, even though he's got a long way to go. Making a fictional friendship is insane, but home warning at the same time could only get you so far. I've also linked some other videos that could teach you how to be a better audience member, reviewer, or better yet, learn to avoid same mistakes haters do. I recommend watching these if you want to be smart about entertainment. In spite of everything, SMG4 is still about positivity this year, at least to the people who care about him as a creator and a person. Obviously, the highlights go to the revelations and the lawsuit arc. The latter being a stepping stone for the channel's future, well, it could have fleshed out its ideas in a better timeline. But my favorite stuff also includes episodes like the Palm Business, Psycho's character arc, and particularly Carrot's inclusion. Which, speaking of which, I have no idea why some newer members don't have their models released at this time, but I'm not judging. On the glitch side of things, there's Runner's grand finale. Well, there's definitely room for improvement if the episode count wasn't shorter. It's still the standout of the series. Needed all 3 seasons, deserve to be remembered as a cornerstone of indie animation. And the second Murder Jones episode was released after a whole year, and it's pretty promising for the rest of the show, which is priority for 2023. Who knows if the rest of the crew is aware of the trouble they had in the past year, and is using to improve their craft, work on something special we don't know we want. Regardless, I'm still sticking around because I think these guys would deserve appreciation for pushing through a broken website and trying to have fun with their audience like real YouTubers. As always, I wish Glitch the best of luck to keep the hype train going from the bottom of my heart. To my viewers and friends who have been looking after me, I can't thank you enough for the support and hope to have you around until the end of time, as cheesy as it sounds. Stay safe and healthy. Hope your 2023 is looking bright, and most importantly, peace out.